On everything else. Hello. Okay, now we are live. How are we feeling? It's time for the Witchy Weather Report. I hope everyone is feeling excellent and awesome. Hey, Savannah, good to see you. All right, let me pop this light a little higher because I see that I'm a little dim. All right, my loves. Today I'll be reading for you from the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake. I just realized as I was doing that I was covering my mouth, which does block the microphone. I'm a professional. All right. How is everybody feeling on this beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning? What's going on for you? We have a new moon today in Sagittarius, as well as a solar eclipse. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. As always, I will be pulling cards. Hey, Grayson, how are you doing? As always, if you would like me to pull a card for you, drop a cat in the chat. We have one preemptive cat this morning, which is not something I usually do, but this is a regular. Judith shows up for almost every Witchy Weather Report and is currently en route to a gig that I am going to go see her play. So I don't know, Judith, I don't know if you're like managing to tune in while in the car. If so, hello. If not, I know you'll catch the replay. So she has dropped a preemptive cat in the chat. The best kind of cat, I guess. Good except for sinus pain, but that will pass. Ooh, sinus pain sucks. I am sending good, clear sinus vibes to you. Hey, Ondine. Good meowing. Savannah says, I love that deck. Someday I will buy it. It is. I love this deck. It's really become my go-to. I really, really love it. All right. So as always, I'm going to share this stream in one or two places. And what I'm going to ask you during that time is to let me know the answers to 3 questions. 1. Do I have 3 questions? I'll give you 3. 1. Where are you tuning in from today? 2. How are you feeling? You know that I want the real answer, not the polite company answer. I want to know how you're actually feeling, how you're actually doing. And 3, I want to know what burning desire you have this morning. What mark do you want to leave on the world, or what transformation do you want to leave in your life during the course of this new moon cycle? And I encourage you to answer this 3rd question in an unedited kind of way. I'm not asking for you to be perfect. I'm not asking for you to have the full plan. I'm just asking you, what's that burning desire? What do you have in your heart that you want to see come to fruition, that you want to see transform? That is my question for you. And I will answer those questions. I am broadcasting to you from Long Island, New York, eastern end of Long Island, near Port Jefferson. I am feeling okay today. I'm feeling a little sleep deprived. We have a new kitten. She's not that new, but she's still a kitten. She is just turned about 5 months old. And she has taken to waking up at 6 in the morning just to kind of patrol the area. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of do kitten things in the morning. And she doesn't like to do those kitten things alone. She wants company, so she often comes over to me. I think because I'm the more permissive cat parent. She comes over to me and gets in my face and is like, don't you want to get up with me and do kitten things? So that's an adventure. So I've been getting an interesting amount of sleep, let's put it that way. And in terms of burning desire, I want to get myself to a really healthy, this is going to sound like a really boring Virgo kind of desire. I want to get myself to a really healthy day-to-day routine that serves me really well in December. And I know that sounds like not that exciting of a desire. I have had a little too much excitement over the last few months. I've been very, very busy. I've had big projects. I've had a lot of out of the house commitments, which is typical for me. I'm a musician, but even more than usual. And I really miss that really special routine. I had settled into that before that just worked just right, just felt really good every day. So I want to cultivate a really good routine with a few tweaks to better serve me, because I'm always learning and growing how to do that, you know. That is my goal. All right, I'm looking at some of these comments. Hey, Ruby, how you doing? Ondine says, we're in a new moon phase just after an eclipse. Yes. Did I say it wrong? Did I say full moon when I meant new moon? It is a new moon. Yes, I want to talk a little bit about that. Because that is really why I asked y'all about your burning desire. Because we have a new moon in Sagittarius right now. And we have an eclipse. Now, two things. New moons are great times for new beginnings, great times for new commitments. Sagittarius is a sign that wants to transform, wants to leave a powerful mark of transformation on the world. And so I'm asking you, what's that powerful mark of transformation you want to create? Because this new moon particularly lends itself to that energy really well. And now I want to talk about eclipse energy. A lot of people suggest that you avoid things like manifestation rituals, magical workings, etc. right on the day of the eclipse, because our vision can be obscured, right? Kind of like calls to like, the sun is obscured. We are not able to see everything as it truly is. And if you know me personally or in my Discord at all, you know that I've been getting messages throughout the last few months about things not being exactly what they seem. So to be thoughtful and aware of that as we make our decisions. So I'm going to urge us just to acknowledge our passion and desire today and to allow ourselves to spend the day just kind of mulling that over, allowing our excitement and desire to grow. And then, you know, maybe tomorrow or the day after is a good time for that kind of beginning to take those actions, perhaps doing some type of a ritual, you know, perhaps some type of manifestation practice or meditation or something like that. For today, let's just reflect. Reflect on what we really are excited about transforming in our lives. I'm about to pull for us a card for the day. Mr. Paul Neptune joined. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, everyone. I want to just let you know, since we have a couple new people here today, if you would like me to pull a card for you, we do have a secret code for that. And the secret code is to drop a cat emoji in the chat. Or to write the word meow in the chat. We do that because we get spammers when people are like, oh, pull a card for me, Rory. I used to get a ton of spammers when people would say that. So now we use a secret code, which is cool because secret code, and also cool because cats. So drop a cat in the chat or write the word meow. If you would like me to pull a card for you, I absolutely will. All right. Reading to you today with the Everyday Witch Tarot. Here is our card. What a powerful card in conjunction with this new moon in Sagittarius. This is the Six of Wands. This is a card about recognition. Wands are about our ambitions, our passions, our desires, making manifest the things we want to achieve in our life. And the Six of Wands is about receiving accolades. In the past, when I've pulled this card, I have shared that sometimes when we receive acknowledgement and accolades, even if they are the acknowledgement and accolades that we have been craving, it can feel uncomfortable. We feel like, oh, we get imposter syndrome. We feel like, oh, are they really seeing the real me? Or are they just, you know, like having a perception that's not real? We fear, and this is something that just happens naturally as we get bigger, as our persona gets bigger, as we touch more lives. We fear that people aren't really seeing the real us. Do you know what I mean? There's a feeling of like, this is my stage persona and this is my personal persona, even if we are not people who perform on a stage. Do you know what I mean? And that is a feeling that the Six of Wands can cause us to grapple with. And I really urge you this week to do what you can to allow yourself to soak up, to accept compliments for starters. It's so easy for us to take a compliment and argue with it or give the other person a compliment that diminishes us. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I guess I'm okay at that, but you're so good at that. And that's what really is important. Like those kind of statements, or, oh, you know, like whatever, I'm nothing special. I'm going to encourage you to have a practice this week of accepting compliments, of saying, if you are capable of saying it, I believe you, you're right. When someone gives you a compliment, when someone acknowledges you, because we crave that acknowledgement for our work, for our contributions, for the mark we leave on the world. And we have to be open to receiving it. So that's my practice for this week. Accept compliments. How might that feel to you? All right, let's see some of these comments. Got a bunch of comments. Oh my gosh, Judith, how are you? Aren't you live right now? I saw you like literally like have a live stream on your phone. Good morning. How are you? Break a leg. I haven't gotten to your card yet, but you're next. I got your early meow. All right, looking to see any of these comments. See some people saying good morning, dropping some cats. Oh, we have cat comments too. Andine says, sat on my butt dealing with post-booster side effects. Me too. I just got boosted on Wednesday. I got the Moderna shot, which is interesting. I mixed and matched. I got Pfizer the first time around, and we're allowed to mix and match. Firstly, it was available, and secondly, I was like, I don't know. It's so hard to know what to do. So I was like, let's go for Moderna. Because we don't have full data yet. And I did get through that post-booster time, and now I'm feeling pretty good again. Andine is saying, my two cats love to attack my feet. Yeah, that is a thing. Savannah says, tuning in from the Midwest USA, feeling tired from lack of sleep, sending good caffeine vibes to you, Savannah. These last few weeks, and a big move from the Pacific Northwest. Wow. Congratulations on your move. How are you liking your new area and your new home? That's so exciting for you. Savannah says, I'm really excited to birth a new creative project this weekend. My burning desire is to get it started. I hope you do. Friends, as people share their burning desires, I'm going to ask you if you would to just like put a little light around that desire. Send some good energy. Just like kind of like be like, yes, let that happen. Let's all support each other kind of energetically today. Oh, okay. Andine says, no, I typed the new moon before you named the phrase. Okay, thank you. Thank you, my resident astrologer. Paul Neptune, tuning in from Long Island as well. I'm pretty content today, and I too want to get into a healthier day-to-day routine and feel better about myself. I love that. I think that is really powerful. Andine says, my passion as always is for making music. We have a lot of people tuned in today. Thank you all for tuning in, everyone. Mary Jane, how are you doing? Need to take a leap into the new job while moving forward with my art. Yeah, like all new things. Your art is something you've been building for a while. Seeing a lot of meows. Andine says, in other words, just say thank you. Yeah, say thank you. Take the compliment. And I also like internally, let's take compliments. You know what I mean? If someone gives us a compliment, let's internalize it instead of being like, oh, well, whatever. They don't know what they're talking about. Or, oh, they see one version of me, but they don't know what it's like behind the scenes. Let's just take that compliment. Let's just, in our self-talk, let's be like, this person is someone I respect and admire, and they think I'm incredibly competent, and I should believe them. Like, what would it be like if we did that instead of discounting people's compliments? What a concept. Savannah says, it's a big change, but I'm happy. I'm so glad. I'm going to read everyone's comments, and then I'm going to get to the card. Okay. Grayson's in Florida. Already answered about the sinus pain. Yes, I hope you feel better. And, oh, I love your burning desire, Grayson. I want to make the world a little kinder if possible. That's beautiful. Hey, Claire, how are you doing? Yeah, kitty antics. Grayson says, kittens are awesome, as are grown cats and senior cats. All cats are awesome and annoying, but awesome. It's deeply true. I love them, and I partly love them because they're annoying. I find that, I lost a cat last January, and a lot of the things I remember and miss are the things I found very annoying. But in my memory, it's just like, I remember how she would do that annoying thing. Like, it's so sweet. Ooh, Grayson says, in December, particularly, I want breathing and creative space. Yes. Oh, big energy. I love, especially breathing space. I think a lot of us are craving that right now. Judith says, good morning from Port Jefferson, New York, and the Dickens Festival. Cheers. Good morning. I hope your performance is wonderful. And Claire says, there's no sleepy cat emoji. Leah, hello. Leah Nguna. VOG, FYI. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe that's an acronym that I'm not familiar with. If so, I'm sorry. Melissa has dropped some cats. Good morning, Melissa. All right, let me start pulling some cards for everybody. Andine is saying, yes, Grayson. And Ruby is saying, this is really resonating with me. All right. Judith, I'm going to pull a card for you first. I realize you may not be able to see this now. You might be having to catch the replay because Judith is about to perform in Port Jefferson. If anyone's local on Long Island, one of Judith's duo project, My Father's Custom, is going to be performing in Port Jefferson for the Dickens Festival, and that's at the United Methodist Church in Port Jefferson. I'm going to go after I finish up the Witchy Weather Report. That is where I'm going. I'm going to Port Jefferson to catch that performance. So meet me there. Catch some great music if you're local. I know people are tuned in from all over, but I'm like, hey, why not let people know? Savannah says, I'm such a cat person. They make me so happy. Me too. Even when my cat is driving me crazy. I was thinking about it today. I was like, she is driving me nuts. Particularly nuts the last 48 hours. She's had a crazy snit. And nevertheless, I love her to bits, She's also such a sweetie. Judith, here is your card. Judith, we have the 8 of Pentacles. All right. This is about you not only knowing what you want, but knowing the very, very specific concoction of what you want. On this particular card, we see a visualization of the 8 of Pentacles as someone literally brewing up a witch's brew, brewing up a potion, carefully crafting the future that they desire, which is really the heart of this card. It is crafting the future that you desire, putting in the sweat equity to make things happen, as well as the equity to learn what you need to learn in order to powerfully create that future for yourself. That is where you are at right now. It can feel like a boring point in development where you have started to gain more and more capability, more and more competence around what you are trying to learn, what you are trying to grow and transform in your life. And you may be starting to feel like, yes, okay, I've been doing the work, but where are the results? And I'm here to tell you that they're coming. It's a good time right now to focus on what you are doing and what you have done, to be grateful for yourself, to be grateful for the work you have put in, to self-reflect a little bit, to acknowledge, here's where I was when I started, here's where I am now. Mark that progress for yourself. Because if the universe isn't marking it for you yet, it's important to help us stay motivated to be like, hey, here's what I have done. That's really powerful. And sit tight. Because the transformation is coming. It is on its way. The 8 is a later card numerically in the deck. 8s have great energy for wish granting and fulfillment. And 8s also have really good energy just in terms of they're close to the end of the chapter. You have spent this chapter working hard for what you are trying to create in your life. And that transformation is on the way as this chapter moves to a close, as you open a new chapter in your life. Savannah says she is processing that eclipse energy too, my kitten. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, my kitten Kaylee's a Cancer too. I'm surrounded by water signs. I'm a Virgo surrounded by water. I'm an island, which is how I like it, actually. I love water signs. I have always found the element of water to be very soothing and healing for me. All right, I have a bunch of people who have dropped cats in the chat. Let's see what we got. I'm going to scroll up here on the Instas. All right. Ondine. Then Ruby, then Mary Jane. I know there's more people. Don't worry, I'll get to you next. Okay. Ondine, I'm pulling a card for you. Ooh, we have the Magician. Big manifestation energy right now. The tools are in your hands and you do know how to use them. So this is a powerful time for you. This is an opportunity, especially with this new moon in Sagittarius. What a powerful kind of conjunction where you are deeply in touch with your desire. You are, especially over the next 24 to 36 hours, really coming into an awareness of, in a very, very crisp and clear way, what it is that you really want, what that transformation needs to look like, how it will make you feel. And then you have the tools at hand to begin to create those changes, to begin to create that transformation. So your dreaming is going to be very passionate and your actions are going to be practical using all the tools at your disposal. So I encourage you to use all of those tools. Sometimes it may help. This is a practice that I took from the book Playing Big, which I really enjoyed. When you are not sure how to get started on something important that you want to create in your life, make a list of your resources. And this includes a lot of things. Your own resources as a human being. You know, like I'm a resourceful person, I'm intelligent, I'm great with people, or whatever it might be. You know, those kind of resources, those traits and characteristics, your own skills and experiences that you've built over the years. The skills and experiences of your circle, right? Social capital. The people who really care about you, who truly wish to help you, are resources. Remember that, write that down, you know, that you have those resources. Resources in terms of access to information, right? A library card, the internet, you know, resources in terms of like perhaps inside knowledge, knowing at this point in your career as a musician, right? Like how to submit yourself for a gig, knowing how to make yourself sound great, you know, in a live performance, knowing the ins and outs of how you like to do your songwriting, like having those skills that perhaps we take for granted as time goes by. Those are all resources that are at your disposal. So it can be really healthy to make a list of resources and just have it, you know, because often just doing that, just making that list actually gives us some ideas of a couple of actions we could take. All right. Ondine, Ruby and Mary Jane. Next, Ruby, I'm going to pull a card for you right now. By the way, if you came in a little after the beginning and you missed it, the question I asked today is, how are you feeling and what is your burning desire right now? What mark do you want to leave on the world, and or how do you want to transform your life? What is making you like, yes, this is what I want? What is that feeling for you right now? If you haven't answered it, I would love to know. Ruby, we have the Hierophant. This is really interesting because you had the Lovers last week. We now have the Hierophant. Might be pronounced Hierophant. I don't know. I've always said Hierophant. It's one of those words I saw written before I heard it aloud. So this is really about two things. It is about status quo. So some of that is external status quo. You know what I'm saying? Like things that you have to deal with that you're actually very good at navigating. You know, kind of like politics of your day-to-day life, which everybody has in their career, in their family life. There's absolutely family politics. It's definitely a thing, right? You know, even in your friendships. And I don't mean that in a really negative way. I think sometimes we say politics and we are like, ooh, politics. But, you know, it's the status quo. It's how things are, and having a knowledge of kind of how that works, how different people will react to different things really helps us. It empowers us to act efficiently on our own behalf and on behalf of the people we care about, you know. So that is something that is going to be playing into your life a little bit, navigating your kind of political space. And I mean this in a very personal way, like the politics, like office politics, you know, family politics, day-to-day engagements, knowing how people feel, knowing how people might react. It doesn't mean you have to kowtow to everybody. On the contrary, it means that you can tailor your approach so that you have the greatest chance of success, and ideally, right, so that as many people as possible are happy with the outcome. That doesn't mean you need to put pressure on yourself to make everybody happy. I know you're a good person, and you're the kind of person who's always thinking about making sure everyone feels comfortable. So I don't want you to put more pressure on yourself in that area. I just want you to know that you have the ability to navigate this in a way that benefits you as well as making other people feel valued at the same time. And the other thing I want to bring to mind with the Hierophant is your own day-to-day, the things that fill you up, your own spiritual practice. What does that look like for you? What does it look like to refill your cup on a day-to-day basis? What practices do you know help you be your best self? And is it possible, as so many of us have over the last few weeks, especially with like the holidays coming up and busy seasons, is it possible that you've fallen off the wagon on some of those practices? And can you reinstate them? Can you bring back some of those daily practices that really help you be the best you that you can be? Because that will help. That will help you navigate everything there is to navigate in the coming week. Mary Jane, I know you were talking about And I don't know if this was a question or just talking about your burning desire, talking about, leaping into a new job and also continuing to show up for your art. Both show up for it creatively, which I love. By the way, if you guys are not in the Firestarters Anonymous group on Facebook, one of the things I love about it is people share their art there, especially on Tuesdays. We have a big creativity thread. And it's just so inspiring to be around people making so many different types of art that they're called to make. And Mary Jane often shares, a photo or two. And it's just really awesome. So anyway, showing up for your art both creatively as well as showing up for it. I know you've been submitting your work and getting in some shows and stuff like that, beginning to get accolades for your work. Big Six of Wands energy right there is those accolades. So let's pull a card for you. Eight of Cups. All right. Now the Eight of Cups is funny because we talk about new beginnings, moving into new situations, right? Moving towards a new job, moving towards expanding our, your creativity, as well as expanding the reach of your creativity, right? And the Eight of Cups really is about walking away. Not necessarily walking away from either of these goals. It's more about walking away from things that are not working. The Eight of Cups always involves a leap of faith. You may find yourself having to say no to something, perhaps that you have said yes to in the past, but you realize it just is no longer feasible, no longer the best for you and others involved for you to continue. Because the message of the Eight of Cups is you tried your best. And it's okay to acknowledge that you tried your best and things aren't working the way you hoped they would work. And now you have a right and perhaps even a responsibility to allow yourself to cut your losses, right? To move forward, to say, I'm moving away from what doesn't work, and I am owning the fact that it doesn't work and that I tried my best, owning my own, appreciating myself for the effort that I put in without feeling that I have to do so endlessly banging my head against a wall, right? Allowing yourself to take that leap of faith, because anytime we walk away from something, it is essentially walking into the unknown, right? There's that phrase, better the devil we know than the devil we don't. And I submit to you that sometimes what you don't know isn't the devil. Sometimes it's just a better time than the devil, So take that leap of faith. That's what the Eight of Cups is calling you to do at this time. And I know that I'm not telling you go quit a job without a plan to pay your bills or anything like that. I know that these are decisions that are larger than just an emotional moment. But if there are things you need to walk away from, even in a small way, how can you begin to close that chapter? How can you begin to make small shifts in what you are and are not willing to give your energy to, so that you can free up more and more of that energy for your new path? Mary Jane says, like the current job, I do an amazing job for them and I can't stay there anymore, as what I do for them is no longer appreciated. Yeah, I think that's really healthy and wise, and you do deserve to be appreciated. And I know that it's not always as simple as being like, okay, I quit, smell you later. In our adulthood, we have responsibilities. But I know I'm not the only one who has planned to leave a job and made a point of reducing the energy I expend, in the time leading up to that. Made a point of asking myself, am I doing this for anyone's benefit but my own, sense of do a job well done, or, do I really have to follow up as assertively as I usually would follow up, or can I just let someone else do their job instead of having to cover everybody's tracks for them, that kind of thing. So, I invite you to find small ways that you can identify what commitments you've made to yourself and others around this job, and make those commitments take a little less energy for yourself as you move into this new chapter. All right. I know I got some Facebook friends. I'm going to take a couple Facebook people, then go back to Instagram. Grayson. I actually have people tuned in everywhere. I have Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. It's lovely. All right, so Grayson had put a cat on there. Judith said meow, but she already got her card. And Claire. So Grayson, Claire, and Melissa are next. And I know I have some Insta people on deck. Don't worry, friends, I will get to you. I get to people in the order they are received as best as I can. I'm on 2 devices right now because Instagram is challenging for live streams without a cell phone. So just for Instagram, I have my cell phone. Everywhere else, I'm on StreamYard, which allows me to go to a couple places at once. Yes. Mary Jane says, yes, I will no longer kill myself for them. That energy is now for me. Thank you. Yes, good. Please reserve that energy for yourself. You deserve it. And in so doing, you're really showing both other people in a practical way and the universe in a kind of more spiritual way how you expect to be treated, right? We teach others how to treat us by the way we treat ourselves. If we're constantly overextending ourselves, constantly saying yes to things we don't really have energy for, constantly allowing our boundaries to be just kind of a little bit, pushed at, other people learn that they can ask us for more than we really feel comfortable giving. They learn that they can push at our boundaries. They learn that they can get us to say yes even when we don't want to. So when we strongly say, here's how my energy can and can't be used, other people in our lives learn from that, as well as, kind of it ourselves. We learn from it. Our subconscious learns from it. The universe, whatever you believe in, learns from it and starts to deliver us better experiences over time. All right, Grayson, pulling a card for you. Grayson, we have the Three of Pentacles for you. I know you had talked about your goal was not just to make the world a little kinder, but there was something else you said. Breathing and creative space. It's really interesting to see the Three of Pentacles come up because it is associated with creativity. Not just creativity, but with kind of like visible creativity, right? Not just creating for yourself, but creating in a way that others can engage with, and how rewarding it can be to create that interpersonal connection through art, whatever your chosen art form is. The Three of Pentacles really is that, and the Six of Wands are kind of the cards about doing the show, releasing the book, having your art somewhere that is visible. They really are cards about showing up for your creativity in both ways, in the ways of bettering yourself as, a creator, and in the way of giving it its best chance by allowing it to be amplified, by allowing other people to see it, by putting it out there. And the Three of Pentacles also has an aspect of constructive criticism, of teaching that is available to you. If there is something that you're struggling with, if there's something that you need mentorship on, it is available to you at this time, and you can take advantage of it. If there's something that has not been quite clicking for you, you have the option of simply asking for a teacher and allowing one to appear. And I encourage you to be aware that it doesn't always take the form of someone showing up and being like, I'm going to mentor you now, which is something like that. I was looking for that in my whole 20s. I was like, please, I could use some advice from someone who has been here before. And sometimes it takes the form of someone modeling for us, perhaps even someone we don't know personally, modeling for us what we wish to aspire to and helping us to understand, therefore, like what the steps are, what the practices might look like. Sometimes it looks like a surprise conversation in which you learn that someone has more of a knowledge than they thought, or even the curse of knowledge sometimes blocks us from knowing all the possibilities, right? Sometimes a conversation with someone who really doesn't have any expertise whatsoever can offer a perspective that gets our gears turning and helps us on our journey in a way that maybe they didn't even intend, but it still really helps. So this is really the message for you, is go ahead and like rock your creativity this week, own it, and don't be afraid to put it out there. And also know that if you need help, if you need advice, if you need mentorship, ask and you shall receive. Scrolling back down. Okay, Claire and then Melissa. Getting some spam comments on YouTube. I'll have to do something about that, but for right now, let's see, is there a way for me to... There. Ooh, I can block them right here on StreamYard. Thank you, StreamYard. All right. Goodbye, spam comments. You're welcome. All right, Claire, I'm pulling a card for you. Paul Neptune, I'm going to have to head out, but I'll see my card later. Yeah, absolutely. Farewell. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. If you ever do ask for a card, know that I'll pull it for you, even if you have to bail on the stream, because I know we all have lives, and the replay will always be up, so you'll be able to find it later. Claire, here is your card. We have the Fool. This is lovely energy for you, really being encouraged. Big leap of faith energy we were talking about earlier. Really be encouraged to lean into your sense of adventure, to lean into the call of travel, of art, of the things that inspire you. Because at this time, that is what is most beneficial to you, and you are protected in so doing. We can often make ourselves smaller by what ifs, by worrying about what's going to happen, by worrying about if we can really afford, and I don't just mean financially, although that's part of it. I also mean emotionally, if we can afford to take a leap, as well as like time, if we can afford the time to devote to something we care about or something we're excited about. And you are encouraged to be the Fool at this time. Claire says, LOL, I am always the Fool. That's a beautiful way to live, my friend. But I don't always see you as the Fool, I will say. I see you as someone who's actually like deeply thoughtful, deeply considered, and deeply supportive of other people. And the Fool encourages you to be happy-go-lucky. And I urge you to cultivate that, what a happy-go-lucky Claire might look like this week, because that is the best energy for your growth at this time. All right, Melissa, pulling a card for you, then going back to my Insta friends. By the way, I just want to let y'all know, I offer these readings freely every Saturday morning. So if it's your first time tuning in, you can do this every Saturday. Come and get a card pulled for you, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I also have a podcast. It's called Sassafras Cast. You can listen to it anywhere that podcasts exist. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all the places, as well as YouTube. I have full podcast episodes on YouTube. If you search Sassafras Cast, all one word, in any of those places. And I actually just did an episode on the topic of burnout, on the topic of spiritual practices that can help us manage our burnout in a holistic way, and not in a toxic positivity way, as the internet would sometimes foist upon us. And the other thing I want to let you know is, if you are, some of you have been really, really generous, especially over the past few weeks. If you are enjoying this live stream, if you have enjoyed getting, getting this little check-in with the universe every week, there is a virtual tip jar. It is on the bottom of the screen, Venmo at Rory Kelly, most places. If you're on Instagram, it is in my link in my bio. You can find it. And I never, ever expect it, because I know people have lives and financial commitments. But when people are generous and throw a little love in that virtual tip jar, I want you to know I'm incredibly grateful. And for me, as a full-time creator, that does go right back into me continuing to honor, what I'm doing, me continuing to honor the tarot, and continuing to honor serving people in this way, and continuing to honor my, my music and my art. So thank you for permitting this to continue in such a generous way, is what I'm saying. Melissa, here is your card. Your card is the Knight of Swords. Okay, it is time to have the conversation you have been meaning to have. I'm just going to say those words because I have a feeling as soon as I say them, you'll be like, yeah, okay. Yes, it is. And I want you to know that you don't have to mince words or be deeply, deeply careful. I don't mean that you shouldn't be considerate of others. You are someone who is naturally very considerate of others. I mean that you don't have to make yourself overwhelmed thinking about, how do I say this in the right way? How do I not hurt anyone's feelings? How do I make sure everybody feels okay with everything? It's okay for you at this time to just speak your mind plainly. And in so doing, you do a service to yourself by allowing yourself to express your thoughts in their simplest and most direct form. And you do a service to others by being direct with them. How many times in our interactions with other people do we wish they would simply be direct so that we could respond directly, right? So that we could either say, oh, that's what you want, no problem, here you go. Or, oh, that's how you feel, that's not going to work for me, and here's why. And move forward in a productive way, right? It really behooves you to be direct at this time. You don't have to worry about saying everything the perfect way. You don't have to worry about getting everything just so. Just press on and speak your mind and do your best, and this energy will serve you very, very well. Okay, back to my Insta friends. So I know I have a couple more folks to pull cards for today. All right, I'm just picking you up, Insta friends, because when I try to scroll without picking up the phone, hi, y'all can see my cute, if you're not on Instagram right now, you can see my cute cell phone case, which actually is the Nine of Pentacles from this deck. From the Everyday Witch Tarot. I absolutely love the energy of this card. I was delighted that I found it like on Redbubble or something like that. I could get it on a cell phone case. Such a great card. And I deliberately put it on my cell phone case so it would be in my face every day, so I'd have that energy. Anyway. I'm scrolling. Yes, indeed. All right, Savannah. I've got a couple people. I'm continuing to scroll. All right, we got Ruby, we got Mary Jane. Next up, Whimsical Solace, then Savannah.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Apparently my Amazon Echo thinks I'm talking to her. Whimsical Solace. Hi, B. B is from Whimsical Solace. You should absolutely follow her on Instagram. Really fun, artistic, creative stuff that is like really healing too, honestly. Okay, so Whimsical Solace, Savannah. I know I had at least one more. And Mr. Paul Neptune. Okay, and if I missed anyone, that's everyone I think I have. So if I missed you, just let me know right now. Like pop it in the chat. Let me know that I missed you. B from Whimsical Solace. Thank you so much for tuning in. Here is your card. Claire says, such a pretty phone case. Thank you. I love it. All right. It's whimsical.solace is the handle that you can find on Instagram. And I highly, highly recommend that you tune in there. B, is it just me or does this card follow you around a little bit? This is the Page of Cups. Like this just says, it honestly has such Whimsical Solace energy to me because pages are whimsical. The Page of Cups is about emotions. And I always read this particular card as really being about emotional healing through creativity, which, am I wrong? Is that not your entire existence? Because it's mine, and I think it's why we really connect so well. So you are being called not just to embody this energy, this fresh energy of when things aren't right, what do? We turn back to our creativity. We turn back to that boundless source. People really, we have some really messed up ideas about creativity. And one thing people will tell you is like, oh, you have to commit to your creativity. You have to make it a practice because it's not like turning a faucet on and off. You just have to show up for it every day, even when it's hard. And I'm not saying that's bad advice. Sometimes that's the advice that allows us to like get a book written, right? Or get an album recorded or get something complete on a deadline because the world is real and has deadlines. But I'm here to tell you that your creativity is a boundless source and it is something that you can connect to literally anytime you need to. He says, I feel like it's me in the deck. Yes. And that's the other thing I want to say is that for you, turning to your creativity in times of deep emotion is a coming home. It is a homecoming. So it is also this thing of allowing yourself to come home to yourself. So if you have felt like maybe you need to put parts of yourself on hold or on the back burner for adulting reasons or whatever, you know, everyone that I know experiences that from time to time. This is a reminder to come home to who you really are, and embrace it and love it and know that it is right, and know that it is right to follow this pull that is so natural to you, because it is not just how you are meant to thrive in this world, but it's how you are meant to help others thrive. So know that it is also altruistic to care for yourself in this way. So there. Savannah, I'm pulling a card for you. It is such a beautiful card, isn't it? I absolutely love it. I love it in this deck too, because it's got just the, you know, the young person with a canvas just looking so excited. It's so, such a good energy for the Page of Cups. All right. Oh, thanks. You're so great. Savannah, we have the Two of Pentacles. If you are having trouble juggling all of the things in your life, know that you're actually doing exactly what you're meant to be doing right now. If you're like, oh gosh, I got to keep all the balls in the air, I don't know how. First of all, know that you don't have to keep every ball in the air. A really wonderful, I don't remember where I read this, but a really wonderful way of thinking about like kind of juggling the different parts of your life is to learn which balls are glass and can't be dropped. And go ahead and drop the ones that can occasionally. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sometimes it's okay. You don't feel always great about it, but sometimes it's okay to like cancel an appointment or to be like, hey, you know what? I said I was going to have this done today, but I need to renegotiate that timeline so that you can keep the glass balls, the ones that are really, truly important that can't change in the air, you know, the things like our health and things like that. And that really is what you're meant to be doing. And if you feel like, oh gosh, I don't have it together, know that actually this is what it looks like for you to keep it together. Life is a constant balance, really, for everyone I know. And especially at this time of late stage capitalism where we are all expected to honestly be productive in these high pressure ways that we never were kind of as a species before, to be constantly productive in a very organized kind of 9-to-5 kind of way, as well as to do so in an environment that is more and more stressful on our brain, right? That has more and more demands on our attention, more and more demands on our time, more and more stressors for us to assimilate as we go through our day. The need for balance is just a part and parcel of being alive right now. And if you feel overwhelmed, it is not a reflection on you. It is a reflection on the environment in which you find yourself. You actually have exactly the skills you need to keep things in the flow that they need to be. And if it feels sometimes like it's wildly out of whack, consider that it might not be wildly out of whack. You might just be tilting the seesaw back in the direction it needs to go. Sometimes that's what balance looks like. Balance does not always look like this. Sometimes it looks like this, right? And as long as you right yourself, as long as you get yourself back to that equilibrium, even briefly, and as soon as you do, you start to tilt the other way, you're doing it right. You can't do it wrong. Serena says, yes, I've been trying to find balance and honor my true priorities. Yes, please honor your priorities. I want to say, like, consider those to be the glass balls. You know what I mean? Don't let your true priorities drop. Allow everything else to take second seat to what is truly important, because no one is going to ever come along to us and hand us on a golden platter, here's the opportunity to work on what you really, really care about. Here's the opportunity to do that thing that means so much to you with no strings attached. We have to create those opportunities for ourselves. Like it or lump it. That's just life. I'm not saying it's fair. So please prioritize those things. Oh, I love that. Savannah says, this move has really opened my eyes to what matters to me, releasing false balls. I love that. Yeah, I know I'm saying balls a lot today. It's really weird. Sorry, everyone. All right, this is going to be my last card, I believe, for the day. If I missed you, if you dropped a cat and I did not pull a card for you, I want you to speak now, right now, and let me know, because I don't want to miss you. I just, as you know, sometimes I'm scrolling and I just miss you, and it's not personal. Because, you know, everyone kind of asks for a card all at once, and then I'm scrolling back up trying to make sure I catch everybody, and it's just the way this is. It's fine. So make sure you let me know. Okay, this is a card from Mr. Paul Neptune. New to Instagram. Please follow him, Mr. Paul Neptune. Friend of mine, independent musician, good human being. What we have here is the Hanged Man. This is actually a funny card for someone to get when they ask for a tarot reading and then have to leave before they get it. Because it is like, oh, I have to put that on hold for right now. And the Hanged Man really is about things being on hold right now. A sense of frustration of wanting to move forward with plans, or wanting to get out of limbo, wanting to just know where you stand so you can accordingly, you know, like live your life. And the Hanged Man really doesn't allow you to do that. It really can make you feel like locked in stasis, like you're in this in-between place. Not that you particularly want to be, but you're just like, okay, I just have to wait. I can't control this outcome. I have to wait and allow it to run its course, whether it's other people that have decisions to make that will affect me, or whether it's just, you know, the universe taking its time, right? life being such that you have to wait for the circumstances to change before you can do what you really, really want to. And I'm here to say that this time is often divine timing. It can feel very, very frustrating to be in this position of like, I'm raring to go. I'm ready. I got myself together, right? I did the inner work. I did the meditation. I read the book, and I'm ready to start moving, and I can't. And often this is divine timing. In my experience, often I will have a holdup like this and get very frustrated and feel like I'm in the hanged man. And feel like, oh, why do I keep putting in work and it never results? You know, like have a little internal tantrum about it, and then find out 2 weeks later that there was a really good reason. That if I had moved forward at that time, I might have missed an opportunity that wasn't appearing on my horizon yet because I was already too committed to take it. Or I might have, like on the contrary, I might have taken an opportunity that looked good that would have actually like locked me into a negative situation, you know? So sometimes when we feel stuck, it's really the universe going like, hey, hang on a minute, because better things are coming and it just has to take its time, you know? So be patient. And in the meantime, like, take good care of yourself, you know, use the time for that. Use the time for self-care, use the time for self-reflection, use the time for, if there are practices around you know, your goals, your creativity that make you feel good, that help you feel like you're showing up for yourself, then do those practices, because that's what's going to allow you to move through this time with a little less stress. All right. It's 11:53. I'm going to do something I do only occasionally, and I'm going to pull a card for myself. I usually, often I go right up till 12, and I'm done a little early today, so I'm going to pull a card for me for this week. And I'm not going to put anything on it. This is just, as I usually say, when people come to me for a reading in person at a party or something, the first thing I say is, what would you like to talk about today? What am I, you know, do you have any questions for the universe? What's on your mind? And if they're overwhelmed by that question and don't know how to answer it, I'm like, we can also do a reading that's just like, hey, universe, what's up? And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm pulling a hey, universe, what's up kind of card. What do I need to know in this moment? All right. 2 of Swords, huh? This is what I'm getting. Usually this is a card that shows up when you need to make a decision yet feel blocked from making a decision. I'm going to tell you, and this is a really boring example of this, I need to buy a couple of things for my home to make it a little more cat-proof, so that I can have a life that's a little more sane, so that I'm spending a little less of my time running after my kitten Kaylee and a little more of my time like doing the thing I want to do in that moment, pursuing my goals, eating my breakfast, whatever it might be, getting a good night's sleep, what a concept. And I have been sitting on it, and this is something I do because I am what is called an underbuyer. I'm the person who knows I need something and then doesn't buy it anyway for 6 months because I'm like, oh, I've been okay without it so far, or I can hang on. So it's possible that the 2 of Swords is urging me to go ahead and do that and make that decision so that I can do the thing and make my life better. We'll see. It's possible that another decision will come up for me during this week, and I will have to, what the blindfold on this card represents is that any decision you make is a shot in the dark because we can't truly see the future, right? And that's something important as a tarot reader for me to tell you. We can't see the future with certainty, right? People come and they're like, what's going to happen? Is so-and-so going to call me? Am I going to get the job? Blah, blah, blah. And I can pull a card and say, hey, things are looking good, or hey, things are looking not so good, or hey, here's what you need to focus on. But we can't see the future with certainty because we and everyone else around us have free will. So any decision that you make, things may change. You might make a decision that is right in the moment, and tomorrow something happens and you're like, oh crap, I have to reverse that decision because contextually now it's no longer the one that makes sense. And this shouldn't stymie us from making a decision. It should do the opposite. It should empower us to say everything in life is, figure outable. And if we make this decision in the moment and it works out, great, we learn from it. And it doesn't work out, great, we learn from it. Most decisions, not all, some decisions are big and irreversible. Many decisions that we make day to day, the ones that hold us up, the ones that we stress over, are actually reversible. We could make it, sit around for a week, see how it works out, and go, yeah, actually, no. That showed me what I really want. And that's okay. Sometimes that's the learning we have to do. That's what I have to say about that. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending time with me today on the Witchy Weather Report. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to throw some love in the virtual tip jar, which is Venmo at Rory Kelly or paypal.me/Rory Kelly. You can get to that at the link in my bio if you're on Instagram, or see it scrolling across the screen if you're literally anywhere else. If you ever want to get a full card reading with me, let me know. Oh, Angie, hey, how you doing? Angie, do you want me to pull a card? Just pop up in the last 3 minutes? Let me know. I'll keep giving my spiel. Let me know if you want a card. If you ever want to get a full reading from me, you can do so online at Etsy. Look for Sassafras Tarot. That's the name of my shop. And I have a few different kinds of readings there. I have like the traditional full Celtic cross reading. I also have some targeted readings around like manifesting and relationships and stuff like that. Oh, Angie says, I've been here for like 15, just been quiet. Oh, well, hi, good to see you. All right, here is your card. This is my last card for realsies. Here's your card. It's the Six of Swords. This is such a good card for you because of what you shared with me last time I saw you in person about kind of going through some emotional healing. The Six of Swords really is about, especially in this deck, in my opinion, about taking yourself away, physically taking yourself away from the painful parts of the past, taking yourself away from a situation that was toxic to you. Sometimes this is literal. I have had the Six of Swords come up in readings where people literally were refugees, right? I have a friend of a friend who literally lost their home and had to start over when we had that really big hurricane a couple years ago in Puerto Rico, and they were literally a refugee. The Six of Swords is a refugee card, and there is often a sense of, what am I leaving behind in order to just take care of myself in the moment right now? I also find, though, that often the Six of Swords is about self-rescue. It is about rescuing yourself, and often this comes up for me in a mental health context, right? Like recovering from ancestral trauma, recovering from general trauma, from like, here's the stuff that happened to me, and now I can move myself along and move myself forward. And we have a full moon here, which suggests that this is like a culmination, right? This isn't necessarily an impulsive move, although you notice that this card usually takes place in the dead of night and has like a sneaky quality to it. But it's nevertheless planned. It's a planned extraction. And you can look at this as you extracting yourself from whatever toxic situation has been harming you, whether it's in the past or in the present. Whether it's a toxic situation that you really did leave, but you've been kind of emotionally living in, or a toxic situation that you literally left by like walking out on a bad relationship or a bad job or something like that. And the full moon suggests that this is a culmination, that you finally have the opportunity to fully remove yourself from what is harmful to you so that you can get on with the business of being yourself and seeking to live your best life. Close of one chapter, beginning of another. Also that there is help available to you. Yes, to the other shore, absolutely. And that's the other thing here, is that there's help available to you. You don't have to do it on your own. Six of Swords are communal. All sixes are communal cards. We see in the Six of Pentacles this sense of community in generosity, right? Of giving, of us being interconnected and helping to balance the scales through our generosity, right? Giving money or resources to someone who needs it. We see in the Six of Cups, that emotional type of generosity, showing up for someone who's having a rough time, being kind to someone, mentoring someone through life, you know. We see in the Six of Wands, being recognized, finally receiving validation from others for a contribution. In the Six of Swords, we see getting help from others and having others offer us the assistance and the sense of rescue that perhaps we needed at one time and did not receive, but now we can have. And that can be very healing if we let it happen. All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. Angie says, oh, bad at asking. Yes, samesies. And what really is healthy is that the Six of Swords can allow us to kind of heal that part of us that is afraid to ask. I don't know about you, but I have several times in the last few months had an offer of help and found myself saying no to it, even though I really wanted to help. I found myself going, oh no, I don't want you to have to do that. Don't worry about it. And then internally I'm like, wait a minute, Rory, you've been praying for someone to help you. Why don't you just say yes, thank you? And I've luckily had the presence of mind to be like, yeah, actually, please. Yes, that would mean a lot to me. And when we do that, when we allow ourselves to accept help, and we see that it is a gift for both the giver and the receiver, it can make it so that next time we need help, we are not so hesitant to ask. Next time we need help, we can actually be like, whew, yeah, thank you. I would love that. Angie says, I definitely malfunction with offers. Yeah, same. Absolutely. More than once. And I usually, lately, because it used to be, I'd just say, no, I'm fine, right? I got it myself. And lately, it's been me catching myself in the middle of doing that. So some poor, kind individual is like, hey, would you like help with that? You know, can I do this for you? And I'm going, no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to go out of your way. Why am I arguing with you? Please, yes, that would be wonderful. Thank you. They see me like turn on a dime as the smoke in the old chimney brain, fires up. But you know what? Like, that's my journey right now. I'm learning to say yes to help. Anyway, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful, remember, if you missed it, the card this week for everyone is the Six of Wands. We've had a few sixes, like big six energy. Look for your community to help you understand yourself. Look for yourself to help you understand your community. And Six of Wands in particular says, accept compliments. When someone says something wonderful about you, when someone gives you an accolade, when someone taps you on the shoulder, when someone acknowledges how hard you've been working, how you've been contributing, how skillful or talented you are, I challenge you this week to accept it. And I don't just mean say thank you and move on. I mean internally accept it. I mean, I want you to have that talk with yourself and be like, I don't want to believe this, but here's someone who I have respect for, who is intelligent, who is telling me that, whatever, I'm good at this. I'm deserving of attention. I am worthy. Perhaps I should listen to them, to allow that to really sink into your subconscious and see how that affects you. All right, my loves. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Savannah said, such a great witchy weather report today. I feel that way too. I just feel this wonderful fresh energy coming in with this new moon, and I'm so excited for all of us. Thank you all for being in a community with me here. Thank you all for showing up every week and holding space for this. And I will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, 11 a.m. Eastern time, right here where you're watching. Farewell, farewell.